Other ways you can increase lifetime value, you can upsell customers to different products. If you have multiple products or services, you can sell them one thing and upsell them to something else. You could, trying to think of other ways. Referrals, we mentioned. You can, I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can do it. We actually have a number of strategies that we can talk about later, about how to increase lifetime value. But the goal, again, in marketing is really to get your acquisition cost down per customer and your lifetime value up. And if you think about it, if you had this newspaper ad we just talked about, how many times would you place that ad? How many times would you place that ad? You paid $30 per customer. Each customer is generating $3,000 revenue for you. Right? You would just keep going and going and going. Right? So the idea in marketing...
More than one.
More than one time.
More than one.
The idea in marketing is you keep your acquisition cost per customer going down, keep the lifetime value of a customer going up, and you can forever continue investing in your marketing. As long as you're going in that route, you're basically can have an unlimited marketing budget, essentially. Okay? So, some people think marketing is an expense. Do you guys think marketing is an expense, or do you think it's something else?
Investment.
It's an investment, correct. And why marketing is, whoops. What's happening to my thing? Okay. Marketing is investment. And the reason it's an investment is if you know your numbers, if you're testing and measuring, and you know that every dollar you're putting in your marketing is generating more money back in terms of customer revenues, it's now an investment. And how do you know if it's an investment? Basically, you have to test and measure. Okay? And this is something that very, very few people, I can tell you that very, very few people do in their business, is actually test and measure the effectiveness of their marketing. So going back again to our newspaper ad, whatever marketing strategy you use, you need to be measuring the results of that strategy. So you were mentioning social media, for example. So let me ask you this: when when someone comes to you and asks to buy your product or service, do you actually ask them, where did you hear about us?
Absolutely.
Right. So you keep track on an ongoing basis.
With the coupons that Cindy has, I keep track of those and
okay.
Do you know where you hand them out?
I usually write them on the back, but if not, when they come into the store, I say, hey, where'd you get that?
Do you capture names?
Sometimes I do have a physical. Like I said, my pic should have been facing to the right. I don't remember names.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's basically the key, right? So you need to test and measure in your business, or else you're never going to know if your marketing is an investment or an expense. Because if you think about it, if you're just spending money on an ad, and you have no clue how many leads that ad is giving you, or you have no clue what the value of those customers that ad is bringing you, that marketing is now an expense. So the idea to make marketing an investment is to really test and measure and know exactly your numbers. Okay? All right. The rule by 10 by 10. I'm sure you're going to be all mesmerized by the artistry of this slide here. This is high art. They're very abstract.
Picasso.
Picasso, exactly. So the art is not great, but really the message on this slide is very important. And what we're trying to say here is that when you're trying to run, first of all, let me just explain one thing. When we talk about marketing, I know a few people here talked about branding. Okay, for us, marketing is not branding. For us, marketing is lead generation. The objective of marketing is to get you more leads. Okay. So when we work with our clients around marketing, what we try to do is to get them to put up to 10 different strategies, each generating 10% of their leads. And the reason for that is simple. If you're only working one strategy, let's say you're working a website, and that's what you're counting on to generate 100% of your leads. If that website strategy is not working, you're going to lose leads, you're going to lose business, right? So the idea is to work towards having 10 strategies, each generating 10% of your total leads. And when I talk about strategies, it's different things. Like, for example, for me, referrals is a strategy, networking is a strategy, having alliances with folks like Oanh is a strategy. Oanh has a strategy where she's basically put on this seminar today. That's actually a really smart strategy because when you're marketing to existing customers, it's probably 6 times cheaper than trying to market to new customers. So by Oanh trying to market to some of her customers here today, she's basically trying to do what? She's trying to lower the acquisition cost of those customers because she's marketing to existing customers, and she's trying to increase their lifetime value because she's trying to sell them some value-added service on top. All right, so very smart strategy. So again, the goal is to go 10 strategies of 10% each. And we don't start everyone with 10 strategies. What we say, you start with one strategy. We start with 1 to 3 strategies, test and measure to make sure everything's working, and then you keep adding. Okay? So if you have 3 strategies that are not working, don't start adding 7 more. The idea is start with 1 or 2 strategies, test and measure, make sure it's working, and then move forward and keep adding strategies till you hit this 10 by 10. All right, next. What do we call a niche? Okay, for us, a niche is when you have no price competition. So, how many here in the room have heard from their customers that they only buy on price? Has anybody heard that in this room? Yeah. I'm sure you hear it a lot, right? Well, the fact is people say that because they have really nothing better to say. But in truth, if you look at a lot of studies, most people do not buy on price. Most people buy on service. Most people buy on things like they like the salesperson. So price is not really a factor affecting people's decision to buy. Okay, so when we talk about a niche action, we mean placing your business in an area where you're not facing price competition. Okay, so basically a niche is all about marketing. How you market yourself, how you brand yourself, essentially, is how you're going to create your niche. Okay, if you're just selling based on price, like these Groupons and things like that, I always think this stuff like Groupon is a little ridiculous. Like if I'm a vendor, why would I necessarily want to be on Groupon if all I'm going to attract is price shoppers? There's just no customer loyalty there. They're just not going to buy back from you. That's not the kind of customer you're looking for, right? You're looking for a customer that's going to buy from you on a regular basis and keep buying more and more things. So loyalty and repeat business is what brings you high profits in a business. All right. So, to get out of price competition, you basically need to be something different. You need to position yourself as something different in the market. And often what you do differently in the market is not necessarily obvious to you, but it's obvious to a lot of people. The idea is to be able to promote that, okay? So how do you create your niche? Basically, you need to have a unique selling proposition and a guarantee. So I'll just ask maybe a couple people here that have businesses to raise their hand, more volunteers, and tell me what you think is your, does everybody understand what I mean by unique selling proposition? Yeah? What you guys think is your unique selling proposition, and if you have a guarantee in your business. So you actually said some interesting things, so tell us what you think is your unique selling proposition.
I guess right now, from what you were saying, for Rita's, I'm just trying things out with our shopping center. We don't have an anchor right now, so we're kind of pulling all the people in between us and like the Chipotle that we have in our strip mall. So I'm trying to pull people in just by saying, hey, if you shop in our shopping center and come over to us, you'll get 10% off. So anywhere you shop in the shopping center, you get 10% off shopping with us. We have a retirement home behind us. Give them 10% off. That's basically what we're doing besides the free ice coupons. When we go to schools, we'll go to different organizations, we'll do businesses, we'll do that as well, and just try to get people in. Fishbowl, I'll go to people's offices when they least expect it, call them up, make sure they're there, the ice.
Okay.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.